Welcome into another edition of the Voice of Camp Nathaniel. On the campus of Camp Nathaniel, this is Lee Sharp.
And this is Austin Rafferty.
And you'll hear me throughout most of at least the next three podcasts. I brought in Austin to help with some introductions and some intros and some outros for these episodes. We did something special where we had a lot of extra people on campus, and I guess the next few episodes are going to be a series of interviews. I've got 10 different, I guess, college age, and they're not all in college, though.
No, they're not. They are participants of our third annual college retreat, and that's for college.
So 18,
aged,
so graduate
18,
high school, so 18 all the way up to
25 years old. 25.
And the reason that I brought them in is there are I guess I wanted to explain it to somebody because it was a big concept in my head, and I wanted to interview these. We have 10 different individuals. Some of them are interviewing together. On each episode, I think we've got at least 3 or 4 people that we're talking to. On this first episode, I think we've got 3. The one that comes out on the first will have another 3, and then the last one has 4. And the reason that I brought them in is they are all in a stage of life there's a lot of transition that's happening.
Yep.
They've graduated high school. Some of them are going to college. Some of them are jumping straight into work. Some of them jump straight into the mission field. But there's a lot of people, there's a lot of negative talk, if that makes sense, surrounding the younger generation.
Yeah.
And it's not always great, to where you hear too many stories about kids who they grew up in church and their parents brought them to church, and then the moment that they left mom and dad's house, they left the church with it and want nothing to do with it. And the more stories that I hear about that, I stop and I think, and I go, wait a minute, I know plenty of people that is not their story. Yeah. They did not abandon Jesus. They still love Jesus and are following him. And they are doing that in a lot of different ways, which as you listen to these interviews, you'll catch on to, because there are people who I interview. Some of them are in college right now. Some of them are graduated from college. They've gotten masters. Some of them are jumped straight into the workforce. Some of them went to cosmetology school.
Some are getting married here shortly.
Some of them are getting married shortly.
Yeah,
some of them are
like
lots of different stories. And the beauty behind that is that following Jesus does not mean that I am going to end up in this one particular field.
Yeah.
And what I want people to hear is I want them to hear the stories of people who are doing a lot of very different things, and all of them love the Lord and are wanting to follow his commandments and follow him and share him with the people that are around them. And one of the big questions that I asked everybody in the interview was, what church are they plugged into?
Oh, sweet.
Mostly because it is so vital.
Yeah. And
a few of them, I asked them why they were involved in church, like what benefit are they getting out of church? And the community that you have to surround who you surround yourself with is very, very important.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. And the idea of, all of those kids, as soon as they graduate high school, sure, they were in the youth program or stuff like that. And the moment they get out into the world, everybody goes wild and they throw church to the side. And these are a lot of stories where that's not what happened. These are kids who, when they met Jesus, Jesus radically changed who they were. And he is still actively working on them.
Yeah, and I've seen the list. I know who all has been interviewed, and I know all of these kids very well. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited. I'm excited because I've seen part of their story and seen like how God is using them in just some big ways right now.
The other common thread between a lot of these kids, I say kids. They're not kids anymore. They are adults. Yeah. They can go vote. So I should probably change my language. These adults that I interviewed, a lot of them have connections to camp. Some of them grew up at camp. Some of them have been around camp for their entire life. Some of them, it's only been a year, and they have come and been pulled in by other people who were working on a weekend and they came in, they did some work. So all of these people have a connection to Camp Nathaniel, a previous connection to Camp Nathaniel, and we get a little bit of those stories as well. It was a lot of fun. Some of these are really quick interviews. Some of them are just 5 minutes long. Some of them are a little bit longer than that. So we hope you enjoy that. So take some time, enjoy some of the different stories. At the end of each podcast, we'll tell you about some events that are coming up here at camp, and it's really cool to hear some of their stories.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun getting to sit down and talk with them. I had a lot of fun today. I hope they did too. So shout out to all of the people who jumped in actually, I'll go on and list them off. I've got Ashley and Corey and Ellie. I've got Aaron and Brenna. I've got Izzy. I've got Corinne, Arrow, Mandy, and Emmy. So over the next few episodes here, feel free, shout out to them and all of the people that I know that they didn't just come all by themselves. I know that there are parents who poured into them. I know that there are coworkers and people who are going to church with them and friends that are connected that are encouraging them on their walk. It's a lot of fun to hear their stories though. So let's jump into the first interview.
Let's go.
All right. I've got a couple of more guests here in the studio with me. Y'all want to introduce yourselves?
Hi, my name is Corinne Chambers.
Corinne.
My name is Heintzelman.
Very cool. So, both of you came in together here.
Yes.
And I'll ask real quick, where are you both from? I want to get the backstories here now.
Okay, the full backstory.
All right.
I am originally from Floyd County, Kentucky. Spent an odd year in India, with my parents wanting to be missionaries over there, but then eventually being led back to Heinemann, where they are both involved in the church.
I feel like we need to get that full story at some point.
The full story?
Yeah. But that'll probably be another podcast that we get more of that story.
Yeah.
I need to get them in here.
That they would love that.
And do a podcast with them. I'm sure they would. Corey seems really excited about podcasting, so I really need to get him in here.
He would. He would like that.
Anyway, and Corinne, where are you from?
I was born in Connecticut, and about 5 years ago, I moved to Letcher County, Kentucky.
Okay. See, I didn't know the full story there. I didn't realize Connecticut had connections there. Very cool. So we've been asking everybody involvement with camp. So how'd you get plugged into camp? Because nobody ends up at camp on accident. You don't just it's not like you're driving down the road and you run out of gas and it just happens to be at Camp Nathaniel. Like there's just usually more to the story than that.
Yeah, so I was riding over at the stables at Creekside Glen in Harlan County.
Okay.
And they didn't have any spaces left, so they said Hannah and James had just started a program here at camp, and they told us to come ride.
Very cool. And if you haven't met Hannah and James, they do all of our they're in charge of all the horses, all the equine stuff there. They do horses during the summer, and they also do Trails to Truth, which I guess is the program that you got plugged into, which is a fairly new program. So when did you get plugged into it?
It was the second year that they had just started the program, so I think it was 2022.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's relatively new, but it's starting to get a little bit more. It's become more of a regular thing at camp. It's gotten to the point to where it's like, oh, that's the Trails to Truth program, and people aren't going, well, what does that mean? It's become a little bit more common knowledge now. All right, what's the story now?
Well,
in growing up and going all the different places. All right.
My parents were involved here when they were both in high school and college to some degree, and then I never really came as a camper. We family camp was always...
Gotcha. Family camp is a big thing, yeah.
Yeah, that was always when we would show up. So, and at Hyman First Baptist, there's a lot of full-time staff that go to church there. So camp was always kind of a name that was around.
I'm one of them, so...
Yes. So that's how I kind of got just involved at first. And then the first summer I could work, I did. So that would be, 2021. Summer of 2021 is when I first worked, and then
That was one of the rough years there.
it was a little bit rough.
those COVID years.
Well, it was just after we had gotten back to regular camp.
We just got back to regular camp.
Just first year of regular camp. A lot of different things going on. People getting used to new stuff.
There was a lot of things going on. Everybody knows that. There was a lot going on, and it was weird for everybody.
So that was it was just over the next few years of working, I really got more involved, and it's become really a second home.
Gotcha.
Good place to come back to.
Very cool. So I've been asking everybody who's come in with what church have you been plugged into or been serving in, working with, going to, however you want to phrase that there. And then what ministries have you gotten plugged, if that's ministry with that particular church or around the different areas. And I don't know if I asked, because we've had a lot of different college students. I know some people have just jumped into work. So I didn't get, what's the story there real quick?
Well, I work doing construction.
So you jumped right into
framing.
work.
I jumped straight into work. And I love my job. I get to build houses for a living. So that's
very
really
cool.
fun.
Corinne?
Yeah, I'm just finishing community college right now.
Gotcha. Where at?
Southeast in Whitesburg.
There you go. Hi to all the Southeast peeps. If you're listening, keep in mind, when we record these and we send these out, a lot of we can see that people are listening, and we know, but it's numbers on a screen, but we know that those numbers represent people. And so like, if you're one of those people and you're at South, like, let us know. We want to know, because I don't know who all those numbers are. We just get kind of numbers in some like general areas where people are listening. So, if you're one of the people listening, by all means, let us know. So church involvement, or plugged into, which church we got there? I think you've already mentioned it.
Yes, Heinemann First Baptist.
Heinemann First Baptist.
My dad is is the associate pastor there, and then, and currently living with them as of now. So I've been involved in like the sound stuff, and then just as often as I can be in some of the other stuff.
Yeah.
With Wednesday nights, I end up doing babysitting for some of my younger siblings.
Gotcha.
So
you've got a few siblings.
A few.
A handful or two. All right, Corinne, which church are you involved with?
I've been going to Harvest for a while, but
Gotcha.
I am also involved at Heinemann.
Gotcha. And then been plugged into any ministries or any groups or different things like that?
Yeah, I help with Trails of Truth. Now that I've graduated the program, I help
Gotcha.
once a week. Yeah.
Very cool. So what kind of involvement have you been doing there? Like what has been have you been like teaching different things, or I know very little about horses. So like for me, I'm like, they're big and they eat hay.
Well,
I do not need to be one of the teachers down there.
Yeah, well, I mostly help with the first year students. And that frees Hannah and James up to help with the second and third year students some more on their skills. But
gotcha.
Yeah, right now we're working on getting ready for our spring rodeo.
There you go. And a lot of the stuff that you're teaching them, I mean, you're working them through. Some of these kids have a little bit of experience, and some of these kids know absolutely. They're like me. They're like me. They're like me. They're like, that's a horse and it eats hay, and they're learning everything from saddle care to how to brush them to like all of the ins and outs and all the different things that are.
Yeah, and it's a discipleship program above everything else.
Because it's, how does that discipleship work? Because it's primarily like trying to teach, if I'm remembering correctly, because I've talked to James and Hannah quite a few times, and see if I get this right here, to where you are, the way that you lead the horse, and the horse is learning to trust and obey and work with you, is kind of paralleled to the way that God comes and we learn, like the horse, to trust and obey God as he works with us.
Yeah, it's called biblical horsemanship, and the definition of that is developing willingness through a relationship with a trustworthy leader. So I'm surprised I still remember that. I haven't gone over that in a while, but it's just the model of the relationship that the Father has with us. We can model that with our horses, and we can share the gospel through that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thanks for jumping in with me here. Doing quick interviews here. So, guys, thank you all so much. I think I've got a few more people that I'm going to talk to today, but I appreciate it. Thanks.
All right.
All right, I've got a couple more people in the studio now, hanging out in the. I guess this is the radio room.
Radio room, yeah.
At Camp Nathaniel. It's also the sound room in the back of the chapel.
Right.
I've got a couple of guests in here with me. Y'all want to introduce yourselves?
Hi.
Say, Mandy, you're already talking.
Go for it. Hi. A lot of people know me as Mandy McIntyre. Real name is Miranda. Fun fact, in case you didn't know that. That's my name in introduction. That's all I'm going to give now, so there's room for questions later.
I feel like you've shocked everybody now.
Yeah, I know.
So they're like, what?
Reveal. It's like a lore drop.
Mandy's not her real name?
Nope. Miranda Ray McIntyre. Full name.
Full name out there.
There we go.
Okay, my name's Emmy. Lore drop. My full name is Emerson.
No, it's
You didn't know
not. No.
Oh
Wait.
my goodness.
Emerson.
Yes.
That's the coolest thing I
I
think
was
I've
named
heard.
after my great grandpa.
I love it.
Yeah, Emmy
I've learned
Gearheart.
so much right now.
You'll hear Izzy call me Emerson,
Emerson.
occasionally.
I thought it was a nickname, but like
No.
a Nicholas name. You know, like
when you think you know people,
I know.
it's like, actually, we've been hiding. That's not my real name.
Psych.
I've known you for how long?
All right, so been bringing everybody in. So we'll start off with, where did you grow up?
Emerson?
Okay, I'll start. So I was born in Indiana. I lived there for like 9 years. And then I moved to Kentucky, and I live in Floyd County, and I've lived here like 11 or 12 years, I think.
Okay.
Cool.
Moving around there.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that you weren't originally from
I
here.
didn't-
So
I
now,
didn't know that
see,
either.
Lore.
this is me. Again, this is why I bring people to come in and talk to me, because this is just my excuse to get all of the things that
Yeah.
I'm trying to get all the lore.
Yeah.
I mean, I was born and raised here, which is actually a shock to people who are from here because I do not sound like I'm from here.
That's what I was going to say. You
So
do not have a heavy
when everyone's
accent.
like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "I grew up in Heintzelman, Kentucky. I, went to Emelina, graduated Knott Central." They're like, "No, you did not." And I'm like, "Yeah, I did." So, been here my whole life.
There we go. So next question here. Connections to camp. Mandy, I think you've already answered a little bit of that.
Yes. Sorry. So, well, kind of. I probably, yeah. So my father, Jeff McIntyre, is currently the mission director for Camp Nathaniel. And this has been my parents' ministry for the past, like, over 25 years. So being only 24, I've been here my whole entire life. I grew up on the campus. I was a camper for 10 years, and yeah, I'm still here, still here.
Very cool. Which is different than a lot of, I mean, we've had some people in today doing interview that it's like they've been here for a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to be like, well, I was basically born here.
I remember like the radio show and like when people would come and like music hour was like you would basically do auditions to come and sing for the radio show that camp did like
That's so
once a
cool.
week. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So like I was those days.
An
This,
oldie.
this is the new version of that.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
didn't have to audition, though.
So
thankfully.
what's the connection here?
So I was going to say I was connected by the Bowers, but it was actually the Franklins, Rick and Kathy Franklin. We moved down here and we started going to Rock Fork Church, and Rick Franklin was a pastor of it.
Okay.
And so they kind of introduced us to it, and then I met the Bauer family and became best friends with Corey Bowers, and she really pushed me to come to camp as well. So, and I came as a camper for 6 years, and I've worked, I think, 3 summers,
Okay.
as well as like the little overnights and things like that.
The Bowers name gets dropped on this podcast quite a few
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
They're well known.
They're very connected.
Yeah, they are.
So I'll ask the question now. We've had a lot of people who have, after graduating high school, some of them have gone on to college, some of them have gone on to university, some of them have gone straight into work, some of them have jumped into mission fields. So I'll ask the question now, what happened after high school?
Go for it.
So after high school, I went to cosmetology school, and I actually graduated Thursday. So 2 days ago.
As we're
Thank you,
recording
thank you.
this.
Yes.
By the time this premieres, it'll be
Yeah,
farther
like
down
a
the line,
week.
but that doesn't
About a month
matter.
ago, but
But yeah, I went to cosmetology school. I'm now just waiting to do a couple more tests before I'm fully licensed and working.
Very cool. I know absolutely nothing about cosmetology. So like that's a whole different, this is kind of like I had some, who did I have in earlier? And they were talking about the Trails to Truth and like the horses down there,
Yeah.
and they're explaining all the different stuff with the horses.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know that they eat hay.
Sometimes apples.
And you're like, cosmetology. And I'm like, that has something to do with hair.
Lots of girls, lots of hair, nails, girly stuff.
There you go.
Just smile and nod.
Just yeah, so after high school, I actually did not go to college. I took a gap year, which turned into 3 gap years, which turned into 6 gap years. So I did a whole bunch of stuff around the world with different mission organizations. But now, recently, as of January 12th, I've started taking prerequisite classes to hopefully join either radiography or sonography program in the fall.
That's
So
so cool.
I'm in school. I'm in
Hold
school
on.
now.
Define these terms now.
So radiography, like X-ray technician,
Okay.
doing that type of stuff. Sonography is like ultrasounds.
Okay.
So
I was like, you got to catch me up here.
yeah, so that's after 6 gap years, I'm finally in college.
There you go.
Had to travel the world.
I
to get
did,
here.
yeah. Had to make a whole rotation around the globe in order to get me to that point.
Very cool. So the other question we've been asking everybody is what church, which you've already answered a little bit, but what church have you gotten, what's the word, plugged into, serving with, member, however you want to phrase it, what church and then what ministries have you been involved in, whether it's with that church specifically or maybe it's other ministries serving in different ways. So feel free to answer that.
So I, growing up here, have been heavily involved with Heintzelman First Baptist. That's my home church. I grew up there. I still am a member there. Every Sunday I sing in the worship band. Yeah, and then as far as different like mission things, organizations, one of my first missions trips was with the church, and it was to Heintzelman, Mexico. So that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. But in my adult life, I said earlier that I was traveling the world. That was with a mission organization called Operation Mobilization. And they have a ship ministry. So I did that for 2 years, sailed the world on the world's largest floating book fair. And yeah, just kind of did that with a whole bunch of people. And then I've worked with them multiple times. I actually just got back from England doing a missions program with them called the REACH program. And it's basically a discipleship program to introduce young adults into what missions can look like for them in their lives.
That is very cool. I don't know if I heard the full story on the England trip. I
Yeah.
just knew that it was like Mandy's over in England.
Yeah,
She's doing some mission work over there. And
yeah,
I was
you
like,
know.
oh, okay, sure. I don't know.
She's been gone multiple times.
I hadn't heard the full story yet.
Yeah, so that's what it was doing. So if you're ever looking for a discipleship program, I know a great one.
So there we go. All right, Emmy.
So for me, I don't go to Rock Fork anymore. Haven't gone there in a couple years.
I thought she was saying don't go to Rock Fork.
No, we love Rock Fork.
We love
It's a
Rock
great
Fork.
church.
We love Rick. Rick, we love you.
Yes. Don't come
If you're listening to this and you're from Rock Fork,
like,
know that we
whoa.
love you deeply.
I don't hate anybody there.
You
It was a
can
great church.
let us know if you're listening to this and you're from Rock Fork, please let us know because again, when we
Like, comment, and
well,
subscribe.
it's one of those things where like we'll see numbers for
Yeah.
people that are listening, and I know that those numbers represent people,
Right.
but I never actually get to talk to all
It'd
of
be
the different.
so cool.
I want to know
It'd
who
be
they
so
are.
cool to know where people are from.
Do like a survey or something.
Yeah, let us know.
I want to know. So
But I go to Little Paint Church of God now in Prestonsburg. Ministries, I help with the children's program. So up in children's church, stuff like that. I will babysit for like Bible study programs. We have like some like men's and women's groups.
Yeah.
So I'll
Okay.
be up there helping, watching the kids while they do that. And
Gotcha.
then camp. That's the only
Lots
other
of camp.
ministry. Yeah.
So what
that's
is-
true.
what camp does occupy?
Yeah, camp's a
lot.
ministry.
Camp counts. I guess we'll count camp in there.
I hope.
So with the children's ministry, what does that look like? Because
So-
sometimes, depending on different listeners, that's like children's ministry, and they're like, "What does that even mean?"
Ours is just children's church. I don't teach any of the classes. I may start because they've offered it for me, but I was
Gotcha.
like, I'm focusing on school right now, and I don't want to have to plan out like a whole lesson and everything. But I assist with who is teaching that class.
Gotcha.
And we get about, I think we've had about 8 kids the last couple Sundays because my
Okay.
mom and I have been in it this month.
Very cool.
So we've had like at average about 8 students.
And you all like trade out for different people that are in there, so it's not like you're in there all the time doing
Yes,
different things.
we do a month at a time, and it's normally like 2 people paired up, and 1 teaches, 1 assists, and stuff like that.
Very cool. Well, anything else y'all want to add in?
I
So we've been-
think so.
I think we got it all.
Like and subscribe.
Like
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
subscribe.
Don't forget
There we go.
Drop a comment. Tell us where you're
Share.
from.
There you go. So we've been doing a lot of. If you've been listening up to this point, you've obviously heard a lot of different interviews. I'm going to see if I can find a few more people. If not, this might be my final interview. I don't know. You all get to end the episode out.
Whoa,
That's a lot of
That is a
pressure.
lot of pressure.
So if you all get in the at this point in, and I'll ask this question here, and y'all can answer it however you want
Sure.
to there. But at this point in your lives, there's a lot of different people who they graduate from high school. It's a time, there's a lot of transition that's happening. There's a lot of unknowns in the world. It's I've been with my parents or whoever's been raising me
Right.
to I am kind of now out on my own and making choices and different things like that. Why do you think it's important to be involved in a church? Because there's a lot of people that when they graduate and they're like, okay, I'm kind of done with the church thing, or, oh, there's just a lot of stuff that's happening. I don't have time for that. How would you encourage people to say like, hey, actually church really is important and necessary?
Well, I know for me, like when I graduated high school and I was, contemplating moving away and figuring out what was next for me, it was that very fundamental time in my life where I was no longer going to be living with my parents. I was no longer what they were telling me to do was no longer going to be an influence to me because they weren't going to be there to tell me what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so given I went into like different Christian gap year programs, and so I was with like a Christian community through that. But if I had gone into like a secular school, or if I had gone into just the workforce already, like I would have lost a Christian community. And as a Jesus follower and finding, encouragement and finding people to hold you up and hold you accountable for things that can, like, if you don't have that in your everyday where you live, then that comes with the church.
Yeah.
And so it was super important for me in order to kind of find a foundation in my faith that was my own, rather than like what my parents were telling me to believe or what my home church was telling me to believe. I knew I wasn't going to be in that atmosphere anymore. And so it was super important for me to be able to go make that decision for myself and find that community so that I could, just build my faith up with other like-minded believers.
Yeah, I agree. Like going to beauty school, it's notorious for, having a lot of gossip and stuff like that, because you have a bunch of girls in like the same school. And so it's been really encouraging, like going from school and having like that struggle, trying to like separate myself, but still be in there and like staying strong in my faith and showing Christ to them, to then like going to church and getting like filled back up and like refreshing my soul before I go back to school the next day. So it's been really encouraging, and having like the people praying for me there, and like where I'm going to be working, I was introduced to them by my pastor's wife, because she came in, got her nails done, and then went there and got her hair done, and she was talking to him. And so I ended up shadowing with them, and now I'm going to work there, and they are so encouraging as well. And I know like they're all praying for me, and it's just so encouraging to have that community.
That's really cool. All right. Well, guys, thank you both for jumping in.
Thank you for having us.
Having a quick interview here. I really appreciate it. I think it's a really good note to end on there. So thank you both so much, and I appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So that was our last set of interviews there.
It's neat because when I first met most of them, it was all under the same circumstances as staff, or I knew them as single, and now I've gotten to know them over the years. They're all different, so it's exciting to hear different points of views. Everyone's in a different part of their life, and so it's so neat that God's using them in such big ways.
So we've got a few events that are happening here at camp.
Yep.
This is our episode for on the 15th now. So when we're looking at our schedule, I've got my schedule in front of me because I never pretend to have it memorized. There's so many things that are happening to pretend like, of course I know it all off the top of my head. Nonsense. Of course I have to look every time. So coming up this next weekend, as we're doing this as this is coming out on the 15th, is our Men's Day on April 15th. So big Men's Day there. We're going to be throwing axes. We'll be eating a lot of good food. We got a great speaker coming in, going to be talking about wisdom and passing that from one generation to the next.
Very cool.
And so we want to make sure that, hey, if you're listening to this and you're a guy, consider this your invitation. If you are a wife that is listening to this and you think my husband should go to that, you can go on and sign him up. Just you can let him know after but by all means, let him know and sign him up. And if you're a pastor listening to this and you think, man, I really want to rally the men in my congregation together to help them form some deeper bonds, some friendships, so that they can go out and serve the Lord and do some things, some of those bonding experiences. This is a great way to do that. We've had people who have done this over the years where churches will load up a van full of all their guys and they bring them over. By all means.
And don't sit there and think, hey, it's 3 days away, it's too late. No, it's not. Sign up today.
Yes.
You've got 3 days to sign up. Sign up. Bring your hope. You know what? Let's put these men to work. That's what it's going to be. If we got a group of 20 coming, that's awesome. They're going to be so excited to see you here, because that's what we want to do. We want to pour into our community, to our men, all the other events that have just passed. If you haven't realized it by now, Camp Nathaniel, we're not just a summer camp. We have some ministry going on, opportunities for everybody in the family all year long. And so we want you to partner up with us, join in with us. So if you're a man,
yes,
be here.
So after following that up, we've got our senior citizen luncheons. That's happening on April 21st and the 23rd. That's a Tuesday and a Thursday. You pick one of those days. You just pick one there. And because the program is exactly the same on both days there. And this is where a lot of our senior citizen, centers or homes will load up a van full of people and come over. Some people who are just in the age range of senior citizens, and they just want to drive over themselves. You are welcome. You don't have to come with a group of people. But by all means, it's more fun with your friends.
Yep, absolutely.
And this is where we'll be having lunch. We've got some great speakers coming in that'll be able to talk and encourage. And honestly, I think it's a ton of fun serving there, because this is where we get all the good stories about when camp, because a lot of the people, they came as campers, and this is where we get all the good stories about all the goofy and silly things that happened back in the days of, well, when I came to camp, this is so-and-so was director, and so-and-so was the camp director, and he dressed up as what, and this is where we get all the fun stuff.
And we might even hear about, our boss, who's now the mission director when he was a young guy,
Yeah, this is where we get all the fun stories.
Yep.
So by all means, come share your stories. Again, it's more fun with friends. So by all means, get yourself in here. We would love to have you. The other big thing that's coming up on May the 1st and the 2nd is Married Couples Retreat. And this event, you can sign up for all of these events at campnathaniel.org. Married Couples Retreat, the cost for Married Couples Retreat is $100. And I emphasized this on the last one, but the food for married couple, like food at camp is always a big deal. The food at Married Couples Retreat, if you didn't know this already, is so it is a whole different level.
Yep.
It's an event
So
to
good.
where, like, if I am not coming to participate, I feel like I actively try to be like, I can come volunteer, I can work in the dish room. Is it okay if I have a plate as well? Because
you gotta feed me while I'm there.
It's a whole different level of a lot of fun and really good food. We'll have, I think Rick Franklin is going to be speaking. So it's going to be a ton of fun with Rick, sharing a lot of stories. And keep in mind, this is not just for... This is for anybody who is married. This is obviously you're bringing both of you, because we want you to come together, not just one of you. Now this is one where we need you both to come, and this is where you can really build up your marriage even more. If your marriage is falling apart, this is the time to come. If your marriage is doing great, this is the time to come because it could be even better. And if you're saying, oh, well, we've been married for 40 years, I don't have anything new. Keep in mind, we have couples that are coming to this that have been married for less than a year. Yep. And what that couple desperately needs, whether they realize it or not, they need the couple who's been married for 40, 50, 60 years to come and sit down with them during one of the meals and share with them all of the stories and the wisdom, all the things that they have gone through as a couple together, so that that couple who's been married less than a year can know what maybe, and it's not saying that your marriage is perfect, but I would say if you've gotten to 40 or 50 years, that's what success looks like.
Absolutely.
This is what it means to love each other in a way that isn't just superficial. It has lasted through, and especially if you've been following the Lord through that whole thing, we want you to be able to come and share that wisdom with those who have been married just for a little, for what feels like 5 minutes for some of them. Yeah. So by all means, consider this your invitation. Get on to campnathaniel.org and sign up. We would love to have you here. And then following that up, looking at our schedule, we've got our annual work week, which is where we get camp ready for summer
camp. Yes.
And summer camp is going to be coming up very, very, very fast. If you have been excited, if you've got kids and you've been listening to this and they've been excited about summer camp, you can let them know that it is coming soon. So all the excitement that signs up there, you can sign up for summer camp, same spot, campnathaniel.org, go under students, and then we've got all of the different grades broken out into different weeks. And summer camp is, I wouldn't say it's it's not, obviously it's a big thing that we do.
Yep.
But it is not the only thing that we do. That's why we tell you about all of these other events aimed at parents and grandparents and all the ages in between there. We've got stuff that's going on throughout the entire year. So by all means, get involved.
Yeah. And let me just throw a plug real quick. If you are a high school or college age student, and I know it's getting close, and if you haven't applied at this point, it's really close, but there's still time. Love to connect with you, get you plugged in. There's volunteer opportunities always during the summer. There's opportunities to serve as summer missionaries throughout the summer. So if you're looking for a place and you're wanting to give back, you're wanting to invest in the lives of others, you wanted to share Jesus with people, you want to grow yourself, man, one way you could do that is signing up to serve at Camp Nathaniel during the summer. Yeah, be a summer missionary or volunteer. And so the orientation comes up right after the work week, June 1st through the 5th. If you're already signed up, be ready I'm excited for that. If not, know that that's when you need your application in a little bit before that. But
and if you're listening to this and you know that you are one of our summer missionaries that's coming in, we're letting you know right now that we are already praying for you.
Oh, yeah.
We are so excited that you are coming. We are praying for you and your family and all the different things that are going on in your lives, because we know that coming here during the summer you are going to make an impact into other people's lives, and that impact is going to affect you as well. So know that you are being prayed for. Guys, thank you all so much for listening to another episode of The Voice of Camp Nathaniel. We'll be back with you here in a couple of weeks.
Awesome.
All right.
See ya.
See ya.